All right. Okay. Where are we? Okay, so welcome to Panel for Your Thoughts, meeting number 1. Thank you, all of you, for coming. We were really scared that no one was going to show up. Okay, so today's meeting agenda, we're going to give a little bit of information about the club. We're going to do intros because everyone should get to know each other. I know it's annoying. We'll do a website tour, and then we'll do the actual discussion. Okay, so...
Yeah, so we're going to have a weekly Zoom meeting, this time every Thursday, so 7 Eastern, 6 Central, whatever other time zones people are in. We have ratings every week on the topics, but like they're not required. We're going to go over them whenever we like talk about it. There are Zoom recordings and slides that are going to be posted on the website. Again, let us know if you're not comfortable with being included in the recordings. And we have the discussion topic survey that you all filled out. Feel free to like submit more topics beyond what we have there if you like think of something that you'd like to talk about. Also, should we do it now?
How can we do this?
Yeah, gallery view.
Wait, this is not a gallery view.
Okay.
Or is it?
Yes.
Wait, Jefferson, turn on your camera so we can put you on our website. Yay. Okay.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Aw.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so we're just gonna go around and say what's on the screen. So I'm Lucia. I'm a second year and in college, obviously, and I'm majoring in neuroscience. I'm calling from Ann Arbor, and my book/movie recommendation is The Stranger by Albert Camus.
Ooh. I'm Tia Khalil. I'm a second year also, and I'm majoring in political science. I'm also calling from Ann Arbor because we're like right here. And a movie recommendation I have is Fried Green Tomatoes. Yeah.
I'm Teddy. I'm a senior in mechanical engineering. I'm also calling from Ann Arbor. And my book and movie recommendation would be Iron Man.
All right, we should probably like, call out because
my sister is laughing. All right, I guess we can call on you. Jane, since you're laughing and being annoying, why don't you?
I'm Jane. I'm Lucia's younger sister. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I'm calling from Colleyville, Tennessee. My movie recommendation would be Parasite.
All right. Should we go this way?
Yeah, sure. Yara, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Yara Khalil. I'm in the 8th grade. I don't have a major. I'm calling from Carville, and I recommend Super Dark Times.
Is that a book or a movie?
It's a movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
To go along with siblings, why doesn't Angie go next?
Okay, I'm Angie Khalil. I'm a freshman at UTK, and that's in Knoxville, by the way. My major is political science. I'm calling from Knoxville, Tennessee. And my movie recommendation obviously have to be Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
All right, Emma, do you want to go next?
Sure, my name is Emma. I am a sophomore, majoring in biology, pre-med track, or pre-vet, whatever. I'm calling from Worcester, Massachusetts at Clark University. And I don't have a book/movie recommendation because I haven't read or watched a book in a while.
All right, Megan, do you want to go next?
I would love to. I am Megan. Wait, hold on, let me do this. I am Megan. I'm a 24 or a freshman. I am probably going to major in computer science and maybe minor in neuro. We'll see. I'm calling from Hanover, New Hampshire, and my book recommendation is What Made Maddie Run by Kate Fagan.
Wait, can you say that again? What was the title?
Oh, yeah, What Made Maddie Run by Kate Fagan.
And Jefferson?
Hi, I'm Jefferson. I'm a third year mechanical engineering major. I am calling from Ann Arbor, and my book recommendation is Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling.
Also, I have a question. Does anybody know what's going to show up in the recording? Is it just going to be the slide, or are we going to see our faces?
We're gonna see our faces if I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick little website tour just so you guys know where to get all the information. All right, so this is our website. You guys already filled out the intro form, so you're good, but this is where we're going to post all the upcoming meetings or like what the topics are going to be, and these are all the Google forms we've been through, so you guys have already filled out this, and then this one is the blank one for if you have a topic that we didn't list on the other survey. So this is where we're going to be posting our previous meetings. Obviously, there's nothing here right now. For guidelines, just so everybody knows, meetings will be 90 minutes long. You guys probably know all this information already, but this is the email where you guys can contact us if you have any questions. And obviously, during our discussion, everyone's got to be super respectful, and we want everyone to be super comfortable expressing your feelings and emotions. So yeah, but if you have like way too much to say, you gotta be quiet sometimes.
But also like, don't be weirded out if you feel like your topic is kind of going off in a tangent, even if it like relates a little bit. It's okay. It's just normal conversation. It could flow like as normal conversation does. So yeah.
Yeah. So like if we get super off topic, we don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is harder than I expected. All right, so now we're going to get into our discussion. So today's topic is the trolley problem, and we're also going to be talking about utilitarianism and the psychology of action, because it's like related topics.
How many of you already know or are familiar with the trolley problem? Like,
yes.
Yes.
Show of hands. Yes.
okay.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of why we picked this topic for our very first meeting, because we didn't want to pick something like really very niche.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just like the default basic trolley problem.
Do you want to make it hold on. Do you want to make it this so that the screen shows?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to record it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, it's pretty much a train is going straight towards those 5 people, and you need to figure out whether it's morally correct to just flip the switch and have that one person over here die. So we're gonna try out a poll. What? Do I have to like type it out now? What is happening?
Oh yeah,
What?
forget it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's way too much work. Okay. Actually, we're not gonna do a poll.
Yeah, we could just like.
So, okay, how about we do this? So there's like a raise hands feature on here. So if you guys go under like
Or you can do
participants.
the yes, no. Would you pull the switch in participants?
Or actually not would you pull a switch, or like what do you think is actually morally correct?
Yes,
Because like
yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Go on, do you see participants at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
Just click on that. Do you see where it says yes, no, go slower?
Okay, so I guess our question is like,
Oh,
is it
okay.
morally correct to flip the switch?
Yes.
All right. So
Are
we
we?
have 3 of you so far that think it's morally correct to flip the switch and kill that one person.
I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing?
Wait, Emma, are you lost? Or now we have 4 of you.
I mean, I'm not lost about the trolley problem. I'm lost about what I'm supposed to do to indicate what I think.
You know where it says like participants at the bottom of the screen? I'm sorry, technology.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like a little green yes check mark. So if you think,
But now I can see everybody else's responses.
oh no, see, that's why the poll is better.
Okay,
Oh, nice, interesting. Emma, would you like to explain why you think that?
You should just not do anything.
Okay, why?
Otherwise, you're actively participating in killing one person.
Right.
Mhm.
You're not
So-
actively participating in killing 5 people before you touch the switch. Technically, I'm just saying that's the moral. That's not what I would do. That's just.
So in real life, would you flip it?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So maybe we can change your opinion. I know I just gave away what the next slide was, but what if it were your family or your friend? Do you think it's still morally correct to flip it? You don't have to do the yes or no thing. People can just like say what they think.
I don't know.
Jane, so if that person over here was me, would you flip it? Or do
No,
you
I
think it would be
no,
correct?
I would kill the 5 people.
But but you just said that it wasn't right.
Oh my god. That's why I don't like philosophy.
Okay, so there's a difference between what the morally correct action is, or you think it is, and what you would actually do. Is there a difference in this situation? Do you think it would be morally correct that you let it run Lucia over, but you wouldn't do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is there a
Okay.
situation where like it wouldn't be? Does anyone think it's not morally correct either?
That it's not morally correct to. I mean, it's still the same amount of immoral and moral, whether you're sad or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So another question I have is like, should you actually be doing anything that's morally incorrect? Like, technically you shouldn't, right? So if you were actually in this situation, you should be the bigger person and just run your family/friend over, right? Does everybody
Yeah.
agree?
You should, but
Probably not.
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, Tia, just like separating it between like idealist versus like an actual like approach of like how we do it. Because we're all human, we all have our like subconscious biases, and just like connections are just and just like relationships in general are some of the most important things in like human life. And it even helps people like get jobs and like things like that. But it's another story. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're just too humans are just too like flawed to like try to do to follow the idealistic route.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I definitely don't have the strength to be able to kill a family or friend over like 5 strangers, but like I think that is definitely a problem with how humans are like wired to think about things. Like
I mean, is it a problem? No. Because if we didn't have that, I probably would have already killed my family.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, we'd get angry. You get angry and you'd be like,
I agree with Emma.
but
Wait, so are you saying that you would kill a stranger if you were mad at them? So like obviously
people do say that. People, depends how mad I got.
yeah,
They tried to kill me. Yeah, maybe I'd try to kill them.
so like clearly having social relationships is super important, but like in a broad ethical way, sometimes our feelings kind of get in the way of what's actually morally correct. Like we clearly place a lot of bias on the people that we're close to, and sometimes it's kind of unfair. Like if your family member, for example, ended up being a murderer, you might still protect them even though you would never protect a stranger if you knew they were a murderer, right?
Yeah. And like, what if it was just a family member or a friend on being that one, but like the 5 people on the track were just like little children or something?
Right.
Would that still be the same intuition? Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I feel like I still would let the I still wouldn't flip the switch. Like, I would kill the 5 children. Because they're still strangers. Like, I still don't know the fucking babies. And they barely even lived. So, like, they're not missing out on much, you know?
They're missing out on so much more because they had so much more to live, you know?
I was
Your
just gonna
family
bring that up.
already
Like,
got
they have
to
the
it.
potential to live a long life or to live a lot, but, like, they haven't. You know, like,
I would. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is getting into like a lot of the stuff we wanted to talk about like the philosophy of abortion.
I mean, I would kill the children.
Those motherfuckers out. No
Yeah.
children. Abortion
I
ban.
mean,
I know I said this already, but you are being recorded.
I mean, abolish babies. But
Okay.
I still hold my opinion, even though I'm being recorded.
Okay, so here, let's just throw out another. So, like, to build off the potential part, like, what if we say that one person that you kill by flipping the switch is going to be someone super important in the future? Like, I don't know, the example everyone uses is like the person who's going to cure cancer one day. Like, would it be morally correct to kill them then, or would you save them over the 5 like normal people?
But you could never know that, so there's no point in
correct to
doing it.
kill the 5 people. So if you're curing cancer, like the cure for cancer is going to save way more than 5 people.
Okay, right.
yeah, so, like, do you know that the person's gonna be curing cancer, or do you not? Is it like a hypothetical?
Like a thought experiment. So, like, obviously in real life, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, in this situation.
You do know, though.
Okay.
Would you kill baby Hitler?
Yeah. Yeah.
well, if a person were to kill baby Hitler, they wouldn't be known as the person who killed baby Hitler. They'd just be known as someone who murdered a baby.
Yeah.
And this person would just be known as somebody who killed a random stranger. We
Wait,
don't know.
Emma. Wait, could you say that again, Emma? I missed what you said.
The Hitler thing, like I believe it was Yara said, then that would just be a person who killed a baby because we wouldn't know that it was Hitler because Hitler's the stuff he did wouldn't have happened. So then it wouldn't be like Hitler. And same with this future important person, the future important person, we would not know ever. We would never know. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm just arguing to argue.
It doesn't like matter in practice, obviously, but like, so do you think it would be morally correct to just kill baby Hitler then?
Well, that would just be killing a baby.
So it would be morally
I don't know. Somebody else probably would have done it.
Well, it would be morally incorrect without context. Like, I think it would be more moral to try and talk him out of it.
It's still immoral to kill anyone, I think. Like,
No,
even
well,
Hitler.
No, I will.
Well,
I mean, he already did that. He already like killed
Rehabilitate him.
himself.
Megan, you were gonna say something. Wait, you gotta finish your thought. But I saw Megan raise her hand.
Angie's just gonna be mediator.
Well, you gotta go ahead.
So I'm saying that I think it would be better to talk Hitler out of it because like, if you're just to kill baby Hitler, then that's just like, what? You just killed a baby.
You can't kill the baby. You can't talk the baby out of what it's gonna do.
Well, not the baby. I'm saying like when they're a little bit older.
Okay, but we're talking about the baby.
All right. Wait, did Megan want to say something?
Yeah. Well, going back to like the one who would cure cancer, like one in like a logical sense, like the person probably has a PhD, right? So what would they be doing on a train track? But anyway, that aside,
They may not have the PhD yet.
I don't know.
It might be baby cancer curing person.
Why is that?
What? It's the whole abortion argument.
I don't know. I feel like everyone has the potential to do so many things, but like at the end of the day, like honestly, like why don't we just kill like all of them? Because like we're all gonna die, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Megan, come on. Save the nihilism for later.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, make sure that the people die, like the 5 people, and then abruptly switch the train to kill the other person.
Only solution.
Just put it in
That would
reverse.
be immoral. Like that's just you didn't even have to, and you did.
That's true.
Okay, so at the beginning, almost everyone said it is morally like you should pull the switch and kill the one person if you don't know who that one person is. But now let's say you're on top of a footbridge. There's a pretty large man beside you, and the trolley is still like behind. You can push the large man off the footbridge in front of the trolley, and he is massive enough to stop it. Is this morally permissible?
This is just fat phobia, dude.
No.
No,
Like it's
no,
like,
no.
dude, I
No, I'm kidding.
like a 7 foot tall, like
Listen, this
Yeah.
is philosophy, guys. It doesn't practice.
Wait, we're pushing a very enormously large person?
Yeah, just to stop the train. Like, pretend he would actually stop the train.
would you do it?
Forget the
Should you?
physics.
Would he die while doing it?
Yes.
Well,
So this is actually the same question as the previous question, but you might think a little bit differently because, like, instead of flipping a switch, you actually have to push an actual human off a bridge.
Mhm.
But
No,
it would be
you
the
can't
same
push
outcome
them.
either
you
way.
yourself can jump in front of it if you wanted to.
But you won't stop it.
You won't be big enough to
Yeah,
stop.
you know for sure that you can't stop.
Dang it.
I'm thinking of ways to get around the problem.
Well, I mean,
No, I was saying that it would be immoral to push them. I'm not saying that in that action, I'm not talking about like the part where if you didn't push them, it would kill more people. Just that specific action taken out of context, that would be immoral. But if you jump in front of a train to save somebody, then it's all of a sudden okay.
So do you think in context it would be okay to push the fat person if you knew for sure that it would save everybody else?
I would say no because you're still killing someone. Like,
and
Okay, but
Yeah.
weren't you one of the people that said yes to flipping the switch?
yes, I was fine with flipping the switch, but I'm with the whole act of like pushing or whatever. Like, someone's gonna die anyways. You don't have to push. You don't have to push a guy.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think again,
I-
you have to just not do anything because then you didn't actively do anything, so you didn't actively participate in it. You
Right.
just
Plus-
watched it happen.
Why is actively doing something different than passively doing
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, that is our question.
Because it is.
So the question is like, so clearly it's not a question of whether or not it feels worse because everyone knows it feels worse to push someone off the building, right? Or like,
How would I know?
you know what I meant.
Personal experience.
So like clearly it feels worse to push someone off rather than just like flipping a little switch or pushing a little button because there's not a lot of like action involved in that, just like how it's easier to just shoot someone than it is to like stab them with a knife. So it feels different, but we need to question whether or not that means we should actually believe that that means it makes something more morally wrong. Because in the end, you really are doing the same thing, aren't you? So like flipping the switch should have like the same moral weight as like pushing the fat guy off the bridge, right?
But I would think that like it's also like it's also a different situation because the guy is on a bridge, so he's not on the train tracks. Like he's actually like when like with the people that are on the tracks, one of them is gonna die obviously because the train is passing. The guy is like not
So
in
it
danger.
is the same situation because the train is originally heading towards the 5 people and that one guy on the track is actually not going to die because the train isn't going to pass him unless you flip the switch. So flipping the switch would kill that one guy and pushing the guy off the bridge would kill just that one guy also.
Yeah.
So it's like the same outcome either way.
I guess. But the fact that like for me, the fact that he's on a bridge
Mm-hmm.
is like, okay, so he has nothing to do with like
yeah.
I don't know.
I think these
I
people
agree.
are doing wrong by being on the train
I
track.
think what Angie's saying is like if you step on a train track, there's like some assumption of risk. You're like, oh, this is like
But like sometimes the trolley problem will be like people are tied up. Like maybe they didn't put themselves.
Yeah. So,
So-
Well, I feel like
Emma, that's a good idea. So let's pretend all of the people in this experiment are tied to where they are, except for you.
in the fact.
What about the man that you gotta push?
Well,
Yeah.
he can't move either. He's like trapped, and the only way he can go is off the bridge.
If you push it.
What?
Only if you push him. though.
then. So he's like basically his arms and legs are tied up.
I feel like that would just imply that he's there to be used, which is not the problem I think you're trying to get at.
So you do think that the guy is doing something wrong by being on the bridge? So like,
No.
then
Does it feel to you more like you're using the large man as kind of like a means to an end of saving the 5 people rather than just like an alternate end in himself?
Well, I'd let the 5 people die because I feel like it's kind of like fate. And also, the other guy, obviously, if he consented to being thrown, then yes, I would throw him off. But, like, he wasn't on the tracks.
wait,
Kind
so
of what I was saying before.
to die, then you think it would be okay to push him?
What?
Like, if he was okay with sacrificing himself, then yeah, I'd
Yeah.
push him.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So you guys
You're a consenting queen.
are against pushing someone off a bridge, but once you get their consent, it's like totally fine.
No,
Basically.
if they said I am willing to sacrifice my life,
Okay.
for people, I'd be like,
I
all right.
sacrificed my
Well,
life for Pakistan.
Stop it.
Which is why.
Sorry, Emma.
No, it's fine. I understood the reference. But I don't know what I was saying. Never mind.
Okay, I can see where you guys are coming from. Because obviously, it feeling bad is a little bit different in this case. Like, you might feel bad for a little bit, but if you did get his consent, then it might be like less of a responsibility on you.
I think I would push him because one, it's like the same result, right?
Yes.
But I don't know. I feel like the only difference, like we were saying, was just like when we're like behind like a switch, we kind of like put like a wall between us and like the actual like act of killing, and so it's just like kind of like dehumanizing the whole situation. I don't know. But like all of this is all like mushy and like emotions and stuff. So honestly, like based on hard facts, like I feel like pushing him would just be like a logical decision and ultimately the best thing for society as a whole.
I
Right.
think you gotta not do anything in either situation.
Wait, what did you say?
Don't do anything in either situation.
Okay, yeah, so both Megan and Emma, you guys are sticking to what you said with the switch problem, which I think is the correct thing to do, because like you're just letting your like human feelings get in the way when you think that pushing the fat guy off the bridge is different from just letting them get run over by the train, right? Because the way these people are going to die is the same in either situation, and the outcome is going to be the same too. So like you're being equally as cruel in both situations. So as long as the outcome is the same, like the problem should remain the same. Okay. So Tia, do you
All
want to
right.
explain the
Yes,
other?
there are different variations of this. So there's Trolley Beckon. Let's suppose that it was just the 5 workers on the track, and there was like no one else. But there's the like fat guy. He's standing kind of like away from the track. Would you like be like, yo, come here, and just like he would be confused, would like walk toward you and then get run over by the trolley and stop it? Would that be permissible? Would that be morally like correct? Is that something you should do?
So essentially, it's the same problem, but instead of pushing a fat guy or pressing the switch,
Yeah.
you just like
Yo,
say,
come
"Come
over
over here," and then he gets run over.
I mean, I think it would be more okay, but not really.
So
Like,
I think it would be
more okay, it would feel better, because, like, he could look with his own eyeballs if he wanted to. And see
Okay.
the change.
So like
Or
it's
if he's blind. If he was blind, that'd be a different story.
Always check both.
What does
Anyone
anybody else think? Jefferson? anything to say?
Question. Are we like beckoning him from like across the train track or like on
Yeah.
the bridge? So, like,
Yeah, so we're like in the same place that we were when we like flipped the switch, for example, and we can just say, "Oh, come over here," and then he'll start walking towards you.
I feel like that feels worse because you're just like manipulating someone
Yeah.
instead of just like.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'd feel worse.
Yeah. So there's even more interaction between you and essentially your victim, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it does make it feel a little worse.
I would not feel worse. I would feel better.
Okay, that's fair too.
Yeah, because they could look.
Right.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah, you can't
I
place
thought-
the blame on them in that situation.
I still hold that you should just not do anything in either situation. I'm just saying if I had to do something, if you put a gun to my head.
so essentially, Emma, you're exempt from all these other questions because like you think that like not acting is better in every situation, right?
In this particular situation.
Yeah.
Because
With all the trolley problems, I mean.
yeah.
Gotcha.
What about trolley wave? So in this one, it's like you have the 5 workers, you have the fat man also where he was standing with trolley back in before, but you're not just like, yo, come over here. You're like, get away. But like, you know that the 5 workers are gonna step off and the one guy is gonna step on and get run over. Like you know this before you wave them away.
So like
Is
the
this
only
permissible?
so the only difference with this one is instead of being like, come here, you're saying, get off the track and like pretending you're helping him, but in reality you're gonna kill him.
Pretending?
Yeah.
So like by saying like, oh my god, get off, you're
You're
pretty
like,
much just
you're not
acting
even-
like you're saving them.
You're not even like yelling it, you're just telling everyone to move to the right. And so the 5 workers move to the right, they're off the track. The one guy moved to the right, now he's on the track. You knew that he would get on the track in the time that it took for him to move and be run over, but you still did it. Does it feel any different?
What do you think?
Yeah, because then you can convince yourself that like your intentions were well.
Yeah, see, it's just about convincing yourself though. But
So,
is it
like,
actually,
Yeah. And I feel like that's where Emma's coming from, like Emma's perspective. It's about like, first of all, like the least interaction with the whole problem, right? Because that's what this problem is about. Like the more interaction with people that you have, the worse you're gonna end up feeling. Like the more emotion based it's gonna be, right?
Right, so but we're asking if it's morally more correct to do trolley wave or trolley beckon.
Trolley
It's-
wave.
Yeah, trolley wave is the one where you're just like,
Yeah.
leave,
So you
right?
think it's more morally correct?
Can,
Yeah, I think that it is.
Neither of them are more or less morally correct because one person still dies. Wait, one person, right? Yeah. But it would feel better to do the trolley wave, probably.
Right. So I understand that it feels better, but what is the correct thing to do? Like I know Emma already thinks like not acting would be the best thing to do in this
There
situation.
is no correct answer in any of this situation.
I feel like morally correct would just have to be none of the above. Like I have no idea because I was about to say morally correct would just be like completely like disassociating from the whole situation. But then that would go back to why did I think that it was more morally correct to flip the switch in the first place?
yeah.
Like that would completely change my stance, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I guess it's really tricky. But here, Tia, do you want to explain the last one?
Okay, so trolley loop. This one is just like a very popular variant of this issue, but like, pretend that like you have the 2 tracks, right? You have the one person and the 5 people.
They kind of go back.
So if you go run over the one person, it will like stop and it won't go around to kill the 5. And if you kill the 5 people, it won't go around to kill the 1. Does that change anyone's intuitions about trolley switch? Like pretend that.
So like you see how the 2 tracks like
diverge.
split?
Yeah.
Pretend they're like connected.
Yeah, they connect that.
And the train, like if it goes one way,
We'll go back around the other. Does that change anyone's opinions?
What's the choice here?
Do you let it run over the 1 or the 5? It's still like trolley switch, but like the track connects again. Does that
Well,
change?
aren't they all gonna get run over eventually then?
No. If you run over the 1, the trolley will like pretend that the 1 worker is now replaced by the large guy. It will stop. The trolley won't run over the 5. Now, if you kill the 5, there's also enough people that it will stop the trolley and it won't kill the 1. Like it's fundamentally the same as trolley switch, but for a lot of people, it changes their intuition to feel that now they're using the 1 as kind of more of a means to save the 5. Does that alter anyone's views?
No.
no?
Mm-hmm. Anyone disagree? Going once.
Going once, going twice.
All right, so I assume that like everyone feels like it's basically the same as trolley switch. That's the same intuition I got from it too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like I know Megan and Teddy, both of you guys were talking about like when we were talking about the future cancer cure person, like it seems kind of right to just save the person who would cure cancer because in the end you'll be saving like a higher number of people, right? So that's like the utilitarian way of looking at this. So like we can use utilitarianism in every single one of these problems. So what it means is that like any action that will maximize happiness or well-being is the morally correct decision. So like in the cancer curing person example, like it would be morally incorrect to kill the cancer curer because you know that in the long run that will maximize happiness for the most number of people, right?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he the only guy who will ever be able to kill cancer? To cure cancer?
No, but okay, so think about it this way. Let's say those 5 people are all like quote unquote bad guys that like hurt people's feelings and stuff.
Oh, and they must die.
Whereas the 1 person is like a super nice person. By killing the 5 people, you might end up not hurting a bunch of people's feelings, right? And you could save the 1 person that might make a whole bunch of people happy. So in that situation, using utilitarianism, we would say like, definitely kill the 5 guys because like they're awful anyway, right? So what does everybody think about that?
No.
Can you elaborate?
Yes. People are not like, well, in theory,
Yes.
people's worth should not be based on their actions and their personality traits or their age or what they look like. They should all have the same base value.
Mm-hmm. So a life is a life. So killing 5 lives is always worse than killing 1 life. Is that what you would say?
Yes, if we're talking about like no feelings here.
Okay. Does anybody agree with what Emma's saying?
I agree. Like in every other situation except the family situation, I would kill the 1 person.
Okay.
But what if one of the 5 people is like a murderer who's gonna kill other people?
Yeah.
Then you would be
I
safe.
mean, that still doesn't make it right to kill somebody, technically. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm just saying if we're like, you gotta choose a rule, to follow.
Theoretically, we can't just like put like a value number on people.
On people, right?
Yeah. I completely get what you're saying. So like this reminds me of the show Dexter.
I literally was gonna say that, Lucia.
So
I literally was gonna say that.
so Dexter is a murderer, right? But he only murders people that are murderers and like one pedophile. But like, so like
He
there's
murders a couple pedophiles.
pride he has about that, right? Because he's like he's just like a vigilante, so he thinks he deserves some amount of respect because he gets rid of bad guys, or as he says, he's taking out the trash or whatever. So would it be fair to admire someone like Dexter because he only ruins the lives of people that
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
So you're defending the pedophile in this case.
Well, okay, he's taking out the trash. Isn't that what Hitler was doing?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I feel like with Dexter, it's wrong because like he has other options. Like he could report the serial killers to like the police or something, and
Right,
like
but
established systems deal with that instead of him just doing whatever he wants.
okay, so let's say there is no system for that. Would that change anything? Does it make Dexter a good person then?
He still doesn't have to kill them. He could just lock them. If there was no system.
Right. Also harming them by locking them up, isn't he? Like.
Right, but well, he doesn't lock them up. Well, he does to kill them, but like people go like in our society currently, there is jail.
Yeah.
Or prison. You go to prison, and that is the punishment instead of killing the person, which, like, I guess I'm against the death penalty.
That's also another discussion we're thinking about having.
Yeah, I know. I just
too much away.
The death penalty, because it goes again with the inherent value of life, and it's just not doing anything. Like, it's not. If the person is in prison and not harming people, then killing them is not helping.
Yeah, so like when we say that we punish somebody, in theory, that should be for like the safety of the community or whatever, for example. So like, is it fair to hurt a bad person for the sake of a larger group of people? Or does it depend on like how much you're hurting them? Or does it depend on how big the group of people involved is?
Both. For example, if the trolley problem was more like a bomb situation, like if one person dies if you don't push this button and blow up all of the United States, then the one person should die. 5 and 1 is so close.
Okay. So you think it's like the scale that's what's causing the difference?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
At what number? Do you have an exact number? Do you think there's an exact?
No, that's the hard part with the number thing. Because
a lot of the times, like, morality is just like a sliding scale or whatever. And so, like, eventually, if it's just like 1 to 1 person, it might be more morally correct if you know for sure that, like, one guy is, like, super, super bad and one guy is, like, super, super good. But then, like, once we compare, like, really, really large numbers of people with just, like, 1 or 2 people, we think, like, maybe it's worth it for them to die. So, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about coronavirus now. Like,
that's what I was thinking about, too.
Do you want to...
People are like, oh, well, it's worth it for this amount of people to die to get herd immunity.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, so like you think
because the fraction is way bigger than we think. If one person died and we all got herd immunity, maybe that would be okay, maybe. But when people are like, oh, only 0.2%, but people don't realize how much 0.2% is.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so what does everybody think about utilitarianism then? Oh, sorry, Megan, you can go.
Can I add something? It's just like a little side note. I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting how people are like, oh, all lives are like really important, but like life, like other than human life, like people, like we can buy like dogs, we can buy like fish for 40 cents. Like, I don't know, where does that line like come
Yeah,
across.
that also goes into another discussion we're thinking about having, like with a bunch of like animal ethics and what gives like life in general meaning and value. Yeah. So we'll also talk about that, but that's a really interesting question.
Environmental ethics.
Yeah. So like what I was asking before, what are everybody's opinions on utilitarianism now that we've like talked about it a little bit more?
I feel like it's flawed,
Yeah, definitely.
but every single philosophy.
Yeah, you're right. So like utilitarianism initially sounds like super appealing to everyone because it's like it's so logical and clear cut because it's like, okay, we should just definitely maximize happiness, but sometimes it's not that clear. Does anyone have anything to add?
Also, like, one action has many different effects, which makes it also not clear. Like, maybe maybe a murderer was married, and
Yeah.
had children, and the children still love their parent.
Yeah.
So that is, yeah, okay, you got rid of a murderer, but now those children are sad. So it's not like no action is as clear cut as it makes it out to be.
Yeah. So like in practice, it wouldn't really be possible for us to like use utilitarianism to guide our actions because there's no way you can calculate for how much you're affecting anybody at any given time.
Have you guys seen A Good Place?
Yes.
Oh, A Good
I have
Place.
not.
You
It's-
haven't, Lucia?
No, I haven't.
What?
I'm sorry?
I feel like we've talked about it.
No.
Dang.
Okay.
Should
I'm
watch
not-
it.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Wait, Megan, what's it about?
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, so I'm not gonna say anything.
It has a lot of philosophy stuff in it, and basically these people die, and then it's about like the afterlife.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I knew like up to that point. All right, so does anybody have anything to say before I ask like the last couple questions we have?
I feel like, okay, so
Yeah.
we were talking about like killing one person for the sake of saving like 100,000 or more would be permissible. But does it like vary with the degree of like action or pain you must inflict on the person before you like kill them? Like, is it okay to torture one person to death to save 100,000 people?
Or maybe not save their lives, but
like
prevent something bad from
Yeah.
happening to them, for example.
Mm.
So like the stakes are a little bit different in this case because we're not like asking people life or death, right?
Yeah.
But everyone can agree, I think, that torture is unethical, right? So are there cases when it would be ethical? So like, for example, maybe someone thinks that torturing someone would get some kind of information that would save a bunch of people from, I don't know, something.
Extinction.
Yeah. Like, would it be okay to torture them in that case? And can you like defend your stance without using utilitarianism?
I think that it depends on the degree of both the torture and what is going to happen to them,
Right.
which is not about utilitarianism, because utilitarianism, like we just said, is very like clear cut, and that is not clear cut at all because it's about
So can you give me an example where you think it would be morally correct?
no.
Or like, can you give me like the most less extreme case where it would be morally correct? Like, I don't want you to say like, oh, everybody's life is on the line, because clearly.
Okay, say some people were gonna breathe in some like toxic gas fumes.
Yeah.
And it could cause cancer in a few years.
Mhm.
And there was this public health official that knew about it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, are we talking about physical torture? Can we do mental torture? Like,
Yeah.
that's the
So,
thing.
like, is there a difference though? Like,
Well, my first idea would be like withhold money from,
okay,
or like incessantly call, like things that aren't actually like
yeah.
harmful to like get that information and warn everybody,
Mm-hmm.
or get him to tell the information is what I guess I meant.
Yeah. Megan, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna give like an example of like if it's like a prisoner of war, like using them to or torturing them to like get information to like end the war quicker. I think that would be somewhat ethical. I can't back it with utilitarianism, but like honestly, like it's like gauged by happiness, but like life is suffering. So like honestly, let's just all suffer.
Stop. You guys
Definitely not my
kind of put
recommendation.
me down the wrong path. I'm not trying to put our discussion on that right now. All right. So if anybody has anything else to add, please speak now. Okay. So this all like brings up the question of action versus inaction. So like everybody said, pushing the fat guy off the bridge like feels worse because it's like more of an action than flipping the switches. So like in the trolley problem, you are a bystander. So like what is the role of a bystander, or like what should the role of a bystander be? So like should you be expected to step up and do something about a situation, or no?
Maybe not expected,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it would be better if you did.
Right. So it's morally correct to do it, but it's not morally like wrong or like completely incorrect to not do something.
I think it's just like harder to do it in real life versus just like thinking about it. It's like you might like freeze when you're like on the switch or like panic or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyone have a differing point of view?
Or agree.
Yeah. Yara and Jeff. I feel
Yeah,
like you
Yara
haven't
and
spoken at all.
Jefferson. Not to put you on the spot.
But like, just feel free whenever you want.
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
This is confusing.
Out loud for us.
Like,
Mhm.
so you.
Wait, what's the question again?
Okay, yeah, let me repeat the question then. So what is the role of a bystander in a situation like this, or like what should the role of a bystander be? I can't tell. I think it is. So like
So
in
like,
the trolley problem, you're just standing there and you could just not do anything as a bystander, but we're saying like, or some of us are saying it would be better to act. So like, what should the role of the situation be?
I feel like it would be better to act for your guilty conscience, because
Okay.
like, if you know that you are potentially saving a person, I feel like it's better for like, I don't know, I feel like you'd feel less guilty about it.
Really?
Mhm.
Wouldn't you feel guiltier if you touched it and made a person like die
Yeah.
rather than not doing anything, pretending you're invisible?
Personally, if I didn't, I'd be like, I could have really done something about this.
Okay, so it seems like there's some guilt tied to the situation, like no matter what you do.
Like, yeah, like either way you're guilty. I just feel like I'd be less guilty if I like did something about it.
But I think what everyone's like hypothesizing is that if you flip the switch and you end up killing that one person, then you're just going to be thinking about the one person who like you actively played a role in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Jefferson?
I think this is one of those situations where you just trust your intuition. about what will make you feel less bad in the future. And then you just
So like,
try not to think about it.
so do you think your morals are just guided by what will feel guilty later then, or do you think there's like an actual like code that you should be following?
I don't think you should worry about morals for this one. Just do whatever will make you feel better.
So you're a hedonist.
Sure.
Yes. We're also going to talk about that. So, okay, here's another question that might like make this more like concrete. Like, do you guys think there should be like bystander laws, for example? Like, I know there was this one case of some guy who like totally let this little girl get murdered, like in the same bathroom he was in or something. I don't know if you guys have heard of that case, but like he didn't get charged with anything clearly because like he didn't do anything wrong, but like also he just like let it happen and did not defend this like poor child. So
Technically, it's not the public's job to do that.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I agree with you because, like, you are not like obligated to do anything technically.
So like because we live in a society, we like all have some obligation to other people to like not be mean, like or like super mean. For example, like we're expected, like the social contract is that like I'm not gonna murder Tia.
Yeah.
Like because that would be wrong and that would be violating her like rights as a person, right? So we do have certain obligations to people, so why can't being a good bystander also be one of those obligations?
It can, but he might not have to risk himself getting murdered, which is kind of valid.
Like,
Right.
have you guys ever heard of like the case of Kitty Genovese?
Yes,
That was
that's
her
also
name.
Yeah.
She was just being like raped and murdered in an alleyway. Neighbors were nearby. They heard her. They could have at least like yelled out and like, "Yo, stop, move," or like leave her alone. But no one did anything.
Right, because they wouldn't have gotten hurt. They could have called 911, definitely. If the guy should have called 911.
So the
And-
risk
and
doesn't
stop
always
the murder
have to be life or death on your part. Like I'm not saying that laws should say like you have to risk your life for anybody who is in danger. Like that's definitely too much of an expectation to put on people, but like do you think there is a certain level at which we should start legislating it? Because it seems unfair for people to die just because the people around them weren't willing to do like the tiniest action to help them out.
Well, it's also not fair for the like outside or like for the bystanders to be like punished or like penalized for
So you
not like actively engaging in the situation, I guess.
but why? Like, for example, if you see your friend getting bullied, for example, like, even if you don't stand up to the bully, there are things you can do to help diffuse the situation, right? And someone might say, like, oh, you're a really bad friend for not doing, like, anything to help out your friend. So even if you aren't friends with someone and you're just, like, live in the same apartment complex, maybe you do have like at least a little bit of a responsibility to help them, or the law should require that you have like at least a little bit of responsibility.
I don't think. I think it'd be hard to legislate it. Go ahead, Megan.
No, you can go. It's fine.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. I forgot most of what I was gonna say, but I remember I was about to say about whatchamacallit. Philosophy is essentially applied. No, government is essentially applied philosophy. So,
but applied very poorly. So I'm saying, I guess I'm asking this because I think clearly government is doing a bad job of deciding like what ethics we should use and what ethics we shouldn't. So I guess I'm asking, like, in an ideal society, what kind of laws would we have?
I don't think we could create laws to do that. I think we have to depend on like people like individually, like everyone's different and everyone has their own like sense of morality, and I think it's just hard to like standardize that with like a law. And I think we should just like treat it like case by case. But like I think, I don't know, you're just relying on people's like own sense of morals, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's everyone is like, I don't know.
but like in a way, us having laws or like making certain things illegal is our way of saying these things are morally wrong, right? So we, in a way, we are already standardizing morality to a certain extent, right? Like we, like our law is against incest or bestiality or murder or rape and these things because we see them as morally incorrect. Like people will want to criminalize abortion because they think it's morally incorrect to do it. So I think,
I mean, we might think something is morally incorrect now, but in a few years, in a few centuries, that could change.
so yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, for example, in the case of bystanders, like, because we don't have anything like this in our law right now, that's why it's so hard for people to think, like, of ways we could implement it in our legal system. But if there's no law for it, then all these people that just do nothing, even though they could just, like, get away with being, like, really bad, like, almost as bad as, like, the actual murderers themselves.
Maybe it shouldn't be a crime, but
Mhm.
good bystanders could be rewarded. You
Yeah,
know, like Good
that's
Samaritan
another
laws
proposal.
or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you are safe, but you should also be like given some kind of incentive. You know, I don't know.
So how strong do you think the incentives would have to be for people to actually start acting on them? Because I feel like a lot of people are really lazy about helping people.
But also, a lot of people just do it on their own. I feel like I see.
Yeah.
Maybe I just get.
I mean, have you never seen What Would You Do?
In America, it is different than in other cultures because Americans don't really care about each other.
Yeah, so
And neither do most Europeans. It's not like a natural thing.
yeah, I know what you're
It's not like a, they're not like that. So it would, like, there shouldn't need to be an incentive to be a good person.
right.
But we already have incentives to be a good person in America. Like you're a good cop if you like didn't kill somebody who was not even breaking the law.
Mhm.
But like you shouldn't, that's like the bare minimum.
Yeah. So maybe what I'm proposing is, like, if we create laws that outwardly say, like, wow, it's so awful to be a bystander that doesn't do anything, then maybe, like, in the future it will become a norm. Like, by legislating it in the first place, we can create that norm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Will that have the like side effect of making people like too nosy about their neighbors or other people?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Also kind of worried that if you do like a reward system,
Yeah.
then like people are just gonna organize some sort of thing where like they get their friend to like
Right.
Yeah.
like start attacking someone and they like chase their friend away and the friend runs away and like they get all the money.
Yeah.
I think we can kind of point to like China, not as like the bystander kind of thing, but more like toward like government loyalty, with like social credit system. Just like the Chinese government controls their people by limiting, like censoring data and information, just like trying to just essentially mass conformity, right? So I don't know, like, and they reward people with like this number, social credit, and just like they can get better jobs, move to like different places, and like get better housing because of that. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just kind of like creeping on free will if we have that at all. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's also that whole idea of like peer policing and stuff. Because you basically just like the government just gets people to turn on each other so that they could just like
Yeah, that is an issue at
Yeah.
Clark because everybody thinks they are the best person in the world and that they set the rules of the pandemic and people started reporting people for doing nothing.
So like ideally you would want to reward people like the bystanders or whatever for doing what they're supposed to do, like morally. But then like you would have to subscribe to the idea that people are inherently good,
Right.
which which realistically is like not true. Not necessarily true, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think because like most people are not inherently good, I think that it can be kind of taught, like morals be taught. Like
They essentially
We
are
like to-
already.
yeah, I feel like the method to like achieve this result may not be like entirely moral, because you could just like kill like 2 generations of people and then just have like mold the young minds and just like kind of like create this society who all think, I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
reminding
that was one thing that I used to joke about with my friends all the time, is like kill all boomers, right? Because they're the ones that are like holding us back technically, right? Then we can abolish the electoral
I was
college.
gonna say this
after they
reminds
die.
me of Brave New World, if you have ever read that.
Yeah, I just said that actually.
Oh, for
Which is eugenics,
I
which
do.
is what Hitler was doing. So
We should have a discussion on eugenics.
Yeah, are we? Are we already? Or is it
No,
not
I don't
on
think
the
we. Let me add it to the
Oh my
list.
I was about to say I love eugenics, but I meant like I think
Yeah, I got
topic. Because in Brave New World they conditioned them from birth
Yeah.
to think that they were like less than, so that they never questioned it, and then if you did question it, you died.
Yeah.
I need to read that book.
It's really good.
Yeah,
And 1984.
And
It's all
I
about.
did read 1984. It was very good.
Slightly different topic, but The Road is also terrifying if you want to get stressed out about the world ending.
Road. I'll.
Like a dystopian novel.
Yep,
Oh, cool.
they eat a baby.
But isn't like eugenics like whenever you like breed people to be like superior?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like a form of breeding might be like, oh, we want all humans to have good morals, so we'll teach them to them from like a super young age.
Yeah, and killing people that don't have the good morals so that they can't breed and create more bad people.
Yeah. Which is weird because we're
Or
all
sterilizing them or whatever.
yeah, but we're also assuming that morality is genetic, which
And this is
definitely
gonna
isn't
be-
true.
Definitely is not.
topic.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean,
So
it's into the nurture-nature
stop
debate.
the eugenics talk.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. But like, all right, so we're like almost done. Before we end, what were the things I wanted to say?
Do you have anything to put up?
So I think everyone gets like a little antsier for like an hour and a half. So maybe we should take like a little break in between. How does that sound to everybody?
That's cool. I'm confused as to how it's like. What are we talking about right now?
Oh no.
So I'm just like, we're just doing like administrative stuff right now because I just want to know like what will make this like the best experience for everybody else.
Okay.
So because the club meeting is so long, I'm thinking we can do like,
Well,
a
do we need
break.
a break?
or
we
do you
need a-
guys not want a break?
for this 90-minute period? Did it feel fine? Did it feel too long for anyone?
I liked it personally. I don't know.
So
Can we get everybody's thoughts?
yeah.
No. I'm kidding. I mean, I think it's fine.
Okay.
I like kind of got tired like at 8, but that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I did wake up really early.
Wait,
1 hour to 90 minutes is good.
okay. So maybe we can end like a little bit earlier than at 90 minutes.
Like maybe 80 minutes. That's like how
Yeah.
most lectures
Michigan time.
usually
Yeah.
go. Yeah, Michigan time. Or
I have a 20-minute lecture this year because of COVID.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
Yeah, well, it's not a lecture. He just goes over problems. It's for Orgo too, so that's really cool.
What? We go over problems for 50 minutes. And we
Yeah,
skip to the
I
next
don't know why he did it that way. He split the class in half. Half of us go for 20 minutes, half of us go for the next 20.
Okay. Ours is all virtual, so I guess. Okay. I wanted to ask. So did everybody like today's discussion? Is philosophy annoying? Should we do like more political stuff, or what do you guys think?
I like the idea of the eugenics,
Mm-hmm.
not
Okay.
the animal things, of course. Abortion, that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll look at your surveys and that's how we'll decide when we'll do what. But for next week,
Political things, sometimes you have to like read into it, and I don't have time for that.
okay, I gotcha. So next week, our meeting is going to be about like free will and like biological determination. So like whether or not we have free will when we are just like
A bunch of hormones.
sacks of meat, as everybody
Yeah.
says. Like,
Well, I'm gonna bring epigenetics into that, just to let you know.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. We welcome that.
Does that sound good to everyone?
Is everyone interested? I really hope all of you guys come next week too, because I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys are a good group of people.
Andrew, you're muted. Oh, I guess.
What, Angie, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just talking to my roommate. Yeah.
Oh, is there anything else we need to announce before?
If you have any other people you know who would be like interested in something like this, please let us know, or just direct them to the website so they can fill out the form.
Yeah,
Like,
because we'd
Yeah.
like there to be more people so that maybe we can do like a breakout room thing where you're just talking to like one or two other people, because I know sometimes it can be hard to like get your word in when you're just in like a huge group.
yeah, all 7 of us, but yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you guys for coming again. We'll send out, so the Zoom link is going to be the same thing every week if you want to save it, but like I will also be sending out emails like the morning before the meeting, not the morning, the day before the meeting, and like I'll also send out like the reading to do for the next meeting, though that's completely optional. The next week's reading is going to be like a stupid paper that I wrote, so like definitely don't read it if you don't want to. Yeah.
Well, now that you told me that, I will be analyzing it. Thank you.
Okay, feel free. Just so you know I got a good grade on it, if that skews your opinion positively. All right, I'm gonna, oh, and also this recording will be on the website along with the Google Slides that we showed today if you guys want to look at it. And okay, I'll stop talking now.